Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hard to believe it, but welcome to the August 1st, 2023 Post Falls City Council meeting. Shannon, please note that all council members are present except for Councilor Walker, who is excused. Under ceremonies, announcements, appointments, we do have a couple of announcements. The annual Post Falls Community Picnic is this Thursday, August 3rd at Camellan Park. Food and beverage will be available for purchase starting at 5 p.m., and the Kelly Hughes Band will be playing from 6 to 8. This is a free, family-friendly event put on by the Post Falls community volunteers. And the final movie in the park of the season, featuring The Rookie, is next Friday, August 11th at Sportsman's Park. Bring your blankets and lawn chairs and enjoy the outdoor movie with family and friends. The movie starts at sunset. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
There are none tonight, sir.
Are there any declarations of conflict? Seeing none, would you please present the consent calendar?
Item A is minutes from the July 18th, 2023 City Council meeting. Item B is payables July 11th through July 24th, 2023. Item C is consent to annex agreement, Hughes Trust. Item D is Elevate North School Resources Officer 3-year agreement. Item E is amendment to agreement with Bernardo Wells for the City Hall Architectural Services. And item F is Montrose 16th edition plat.
Questions on consent calendar?
Move for approval of the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Thorson?
Aye.
Malloy?
Aye.
Ziegler?
Aye.
Borders?
Aye.
Shove?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda tonight is public hearings. We have none. Followed by unfinished business, returning ordinances and resolutions. We have none. Next up is new business, and apparently we have none.
I like where this is going.
So,
I'm sensing a theme.
citizens' issues, and this section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address this council regarding city-related issues that are not on the agenda. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward and give your name for the record. Seeing none. Administrative staff reports. Post Falls Festival review.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I am Tracy Stevenson, the Recreation Manager, and I was just going to go over our Post Falls Festival that we just had a few weeks ago. So as a lot of you know, that it changed from Post Falls Days in 2016 to Post Falls Festival. This allowed us to work more with the Chamber for sponsorship and grant opportunities and more promotion of it. And it also moved us from June to July, which got us out of that rainy season. Now we just get a little bit of warmth each year, which will take that way over a rainy season. So this year happened to be our biggest Post Falls Festival that we've had so far. As we all know, it started in 1975. The Parks and Recreation Department took it over in 1995. This year, we had our 10 live bands throughout on the big grand stage. We had 160 exhibitors, which included 92 of our 3-day booths, and then 18 food booths, and then 50 of our 1-day craft vendors that we had that were only on Saturday. We calculated at 15,000. We say that's on the low side. It's probably closer up into the 18,000, but we calculated like per kind of a guesstimate on putting 3 people in a carload. So if there's larger families or not. Our movie was a huge success there. We had over 300 people in the event right by the Grand Pavilion there. We showed Aladdin this year, which was a fun show for them. So we like to think of it as not just a couple-day event, that it's a big citywide community event. So this year we were fortunate that it started on Thursday with the Post Falls Museum, or the Historical Society, I should say, honoring the 100 years of the Chapin Building. And then Friday was the big kickoff for us down at Chameleon Park with the food, the craft vendors, the inflatables, the music, the beer garden. On Friday, our addition to that was we had our big wheel race, and this year was the first time. We've always done just like the little kids' big wheel hot rods, but this year we also added the adult ones, so that was kind of a fun to try to add in growth with the family event. Saturday, of course, was our normal stuff, and then we added the craft fair that day, which that one is the one that had 60 booths on that, and then the awesome parade on sale. Tease is always a good addition. And then the ice cream social that the museum put on, and then the car show and shine, say that 3 times right here at City Hall, that the Calvary Lutheran Church put on. So it's nice that we're starting to, we've always had this vision that it's just not everyone just comes to Chameleon Park. We'd like to even see more pockets throughout the city of each one hosting their own kind of events. And then Sunday was our events, and then Calvary Lutheran Church also had their worship service earlier prior to our booth opening at 11 that day. I just put in a couple fun photos. It's nice just to see the park in action and sunny and not rainy and not wet. July's definitely been a good change on that. And then, so some of our partners, which we could never do an event, of course, without our partners. Our newest addition was thanks to Daniel Stevenson, our park supervisor. He actually got CityLink on board for us. So they had 4 bus stops that they used, and they ran on Saturday and Sunday. We're considering that maybe we're gonna also need to add Friday next year. CityLink, was kind of dipping their toe into it too, and so I think they're ready now that they saw the response to it to possibly grow it. The bus route went every 20 minutes. It was nice with the AR code. You could scan it. Actually, when I was working the information booth, I could like watch it where they were picking up people, and you could watch, knowing like if I'm at this bus stop, they'll be here in like 5 minutes. My kids don't have to wait another 20 minutes. Like they're almost here. So that was great. It was really nice. We had we always have a great presence with the Post Falls Police, but they actually had their trailer right beside our information booth. They had some really nice fun things with interaction with them, and I think it's always nice to have them there, but it felt they were much more inclusive, that people knew exactly where they were. It just felt safer in that whole setting with it. P1FCU, they do an ATM machine, which that's been a big deal the last 10 years, people moving away from just cash. And then the Post Falls Community Volunteers doing their beer garden, and like we already talked about, the Taste and Toast and the ice cream social that the museum did. The parade by the Post Falls Community Ambassadors, and then the show and shine and worship. Our movies are completely sponsored and underwritten by our sponsors of U-Haul and Numerica. So we're always thankful for that. Here's some of the numbers on it. As you can see, our 3-day vendors revenue, and then the 1-day, the beer garden, the bounce house, and the car show, and then some of our expenses coming out of it, the entertainment, sanitation, fire inspections, marketing, and supplies. And then it's always good to hear nice things and get some great feedback after we've done lots of planning and hard work on it. So this is just a few of the things that our vendors had said. They're just talking about the hard work that goes into it, that it's really well run and organized, which I have to say is probably 80%. I mean, we're the organizers, the recreation side, but Parks is phenomenal, as we all know, on making sure that part of it runs smooth that day. So ultimately, that is a short and sweet kind of everything of Post Falls Festival, and we've already started planning for next year. So does anyone have questions?
Thank you, Tracy.
for
Any
me on
questions,
it?
Tracy?
I have a comment. It was fabulous down there.
Thank you.
It was so nice that there weren't mud puddles. I agree with the June. Can you put that back up really
Yep,
fast, though?
sorry.
I had a quick question.
Yep, absolutely.
Um,
Which slide do you want?
It just went fast. Oh, I'm sorry. On the profit loss, the
Revenue.
income revenue.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Right here.
Okay, so about 25,000 to the good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything, the thing that isn't on there under expenses? I know how labor intensive this is for you and
Yes.
all of the park
We don't,
and recreation people, but what that is,
the hard numbers of it.
yeah, so
Yes.
what is that cost?
We have not completely put together the hard numbers on it, but I will say I know that the expense will be in there, and I can definitely get it back to you. I can email
Yes,
it to
I didn't
you.
expect you to
Absolutely.
know that right this second.
No, absolutely, I can get back to you, and we run pretty lean there. I mean, we've got a pretty good system on, we're not overstaffing ourselves at any point, that's for sure, but I can definitely get you those numbers.
Because you, like you said, you're starting already to work on next year.
Yes.
So it is something
Yeah,
that
we
the-
had our wrap-up meeting. We just had our wrap-up meeting, got the input from all the stuff, because it's important that even like our seasonals that are working and our young teenagers, that they tell us what they saw from their side of view. I mean, there's always like that, a little bit of chaos with the detour and how we can revamp that and stuff so that people are coming out of the park smoothly and not interfacing with the neighborhood in a negative way, and so.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get their names, but the two gentlemen that were working the gate right by the pavilion were awesome. They, you know, they were, and this was Sunday.
Yeah.
So Sunday, probably midday.
Okay.
But, yeah, they were dealing with a lot of traffic. The lot was full, and
Yes,
which doesn't make people happy. And they were both really exceptional.
thank you.
I think one of them is a full-time,
Probably
is
We
a
can
parks
figure-
employee, a
we can
recreation
figure it out,
employee.
Yeah,
But yeah, so kudos to them. But yeah, good
Perfect.
job.
thank you.
I'd just like to, thank Chief too, because, PD takes care of vehicles for any of
Yeah.
us that want to be in the parade, and my grandkids loved it. Thank you very much. You guys always do such a nice job providing the traffic control and that. It's parks, recreation, everybody does a great job, and you're a big part of that, so thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Tracy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mayor comments, Park and Rec. I went to the Music in the Park last week, and I hate to admit, it was my first time down in that park. Well done. Beautiful park, wonderful setting. Your parks guys were great. I don't think they stopped. Every time I turned around, they were emptying a garbage bin. The amphitheater is wonderful. I mean, people dancing from little bitty ones to people as old as I am, and older. And it was just a great event. I thought it was very well attended. We debated, kicked around AstroTurf or whatever, synthetic turf compared to grass. Turf was a good call. I think it worked out really well, but the park turned out beautiful. Just a great spot to sit and listen to music. So kudos, and again, you guys did a great job down there. Please, appreciate it. Council comments? No? With that, we do need an executive session.
We do.
Well, I would move to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061A to consider hiring a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent. Further, that no action will be taken during the session and that the session will last approximately 10 minutes.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Shove,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Ziegler,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Thorson.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. We'll enter an executive. Call the meeting back to order. Are there any motions to come forward?
Adjourn?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.